So welcome students for today's lecture, and our today's topic is power and power factor. That is mainly the power in AC circuits and power factor. Okay. So in our previous lecture we learn about the steps to find mesh current. So what is mesh and how can we determine the mesh current using either matrix method or by using Kirchhoff's voltage law, and then we saw some numerical problems. Okay. So in today's lecture, our main aim was to learn about what is active power or real power, reactive power, and then apparent power, and then what is power factor and what is the role of power factor. Okay. Before that, so in DC circuit, okay, in DC circuits, power, that is P, is nothing but a product of your DC voltage and DC current. Okay, that is P is equal to V into I. The unit of power is given by watts. So this is what we do in DC circuit. That is P is equal to V into I and unit is watt. But in case of AC circuits, in DC circuits we have only resistive element to oppose the current. But in case of AC circuits, we have reactive components like inductor and capacitor also. So other than resistor, we have inductor and capacitor. So the consumed power is, we can't say simply P is equal to V into I. So we have presence of both real power and reactive power. That is, real power is mainly due to resistor and reactive power is mainly due to inductor and capacitor. So we have to calculate how inductor and capacitor is storing or storing the power, and similarly how the resistor is consuming the power or energy in AC circuits. So another thing in DC circuit, okay. So in DC circuit, mostly if you see the power P is equal to V into I, mainly we won't say it is a time varying one unless the voltage or current is varying one. If the voltage is a pure waveform, then the electrical power also will be independent of time. But in case of AC, it is surely time dependent. That is, the power is varying by time, because simply you can say for voltage this formula is V is equal to Vm sin omega t. So that omega t is nothing but your time. So based on your time, the value of your voltage get varies. Because of that, your electrical power also varying with time. Okay. So next one is instantaneous power. So instantaneous power is nothing but the power at any instant of time. So for example, say when time is equal to 0 or time is equal to 1 second, or simply you can take in terms of degree. That is the time, the power at degree of angle 30 degree or 45 degree or 90 degree or 180 degree. So at any instant of time, if you measure the power, it is called as instantaneous power. So in DC circuits, the formula for power as per your Ohm's law is voltage into current, or either by V square by R or I square into R. Okay. For example, if you take this example here, we have a voltage of 12 volt. Okay, and then current 2 amps, and the resistor 6 ohm. So if you want to calculate the power, either you can go for V into I, that is 12 into 2, which is equal to 24, or else you can go for V square by R, that is 12 square by 6, which is nothing but 144 by 6, that is equal to again 24, or else simply I square, that is 2 square into 6, so 4 into 6, that is 24. Okay, so you can go for any formula. But in case of electrical power, first we will see what is instantaneous power. So let us take this example. So if you measure the power at 0, it will be product of your voltage and current. But in case of if you take, that is for 90 degree, the power at 90 degree, it will be depend on the formula. That is, for voltage it will be Vm sin 90, and for current it will be Im sin 90. So based on the value, we can measure the voltage. Okay. So let us take power. For instantaneous power, we will just product the your voltage and current at that point. Okay. Here V is nothing but Vm sin omega t plus del V. So del V is nothing but the starting point of your voltage. So here it is starting at 0 degree. So if you have a phase difference of some value, let us say 30 or 60, here it will be omega d plus 30. Similarly for I, that is Im sin omega d plus del I. So just to multiply the equation, so here Vm and Im both are constant, so you can take it out. So it can be written as Vm into Im sin omega d plus del V and sin omega d plus del I. So in trigonometry we have a formula, right? For sin A and sin B, it will be equal to 1 by 2 cos A minus B and cos A plus B. So minus of cos A plus B. So here if you compare these two formulas, okay, A is nothing but omega d plus del V and B is nothing but omega t plus del I. Okay, if you substitute this here, your formula will become like this. So Vm Im by 2 into cos theta minus cos 2 omega d plus theta. Here theta is nothing but the algebraic sum of your del V and del I. So that is theta V and theta I, that is taken as simply theta. Okay. So here Vm into Im by 2 can be expressed like this. So Vm Im by 2 is equal to Vm by root 2 Im by root 2, because root 2 into root 2 is equal to 2. That's why we have just separated like this. So Vm by root 2 is nothing but RMS voltage and Im by root 2 is nothing but RMS current for the sinusoidal waveform. So I hope everyone know what is RMS value. So RMS value is nothing but the area of the square root of area of the squared waveform divided by time period. So if you take the RMS voltage of any sine waveform, it will be equal to the maximum value divided by root 2. For voltage it is Vm by root 2, for current it is Im by root 2. So instead of this value we are replacing that by capital V and capital I. So capital V representing V RMS, that is RMS voltage, and capital I representing RMS current. Okay, so VI cos theta minus VI cos 2 omega d plus theta. So this is nothing but your instantaneous power in AC circuit. But if you calculate the average value, so average value is nothing but if you are adding all the power at each point, that is from 0 to 360 degree, for 0, 1, 2, for all degree if you take the power and if you just divide by 360, you will get the average power. Okay, so average power will be equal to V into I cos theta. Why? Because here the 2 omega d is nothing but a periodic waveform, so which will make this value as 0 or negligible value. So we are just omitting this one and taking the average power as P is equal to V into I cos theta, where V and I are RMS value. So you can also express the power in terms of impedance. Okay, so impedance is nothing but just a phasor, the ratio of phasor voltage by phasor current. So we already saw this in our lecture called AC and DC circuits. Okay, so here Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Here R square is nothing but the value of resistance and XL is nothing but the reactance of your inductor, and XC is nothing but reactance of your capacitor. That is XL is equal to omega L and XC is equal to 1 by omega C. So you can express like this. So instead of V into I, so I have replaced I by V by Z. Okay, so as per Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. You can replace I by V by R. So here I have replaced I by V by Z. Okay, because Z is mainly due to resistor, inductor, and then capacitor. Okay, similarly, so instead of V, you can simply substitute I into Z. That is V is equal to IR. So instead of R, here we are replacing by Z. So the formula will become I square Z cos theta. So here the cos theta is nothing but the phase angle difference between your voltage and then current. So you can express cos theta in terms of impedance, that is either by R, XL, XC or Z. So like this. So if you want to the value of theta, it can be written as cos inverse of R by Z. Okay. So here the equal won't be come. So here it will be like bracket. So cos inverse of RZ or sin inverse of XL by Z or tan inverse of XL by R. Okay. So this will be the formula for your theta, that is phase angle. The next one, AC power in a pure resistive circuit. Okay, we already saw the AC circuit with R load and L load and C load in our lecture topic AC and DC circuit. So here we are just recapping the same. Okay, so if you take the resistive circuit or a circuit with a resistive load, here the both voltage and current both are in phase. So in phase is nothing but the phase difference between voltage waveform and current waveform will be equal to 0, or you can simply say voltage and current start at same point. So here the starting point of voltage and current is at 0 and they are reaching the maximum point at same time. So at 90 degree both voltage and current waveform reaching the maximum position. So at 0 at 180 it is reaching the value 0, but at 90 and 270 it is reaching the maximum value either in positive or negative. So here the phase difference, that is theta, is equal to 0. So if you calculate the average power, so we saw, right? So P is equal to VI cos theta. So here theta is nothing but the phase angle difference. Here the theta is equal to 0. So since they are in phase, okay. So if you substitute theta is equal to 0, cos 0 is equal to 1. So which is nothing but P is equal to V into I. Okay. So this is the AC power for circuit with pure resistive load. So if you draw the diagram and if you calculate the power, so power is nothing but V into I. So here the voltage is positive and here also the voltage is positive. So if you multiply the same, power also will be positive. Okay. So power is consumed. So power positive means here the element is consuming the power. Similarly, here if you take this one, here the voltage is negative and current is negative. Both waveform are in negative. So if you just to product the same, minus into minus, which will be equal to plus, it will give the positive power. Okay. So the power absorbed by the inductor is always positive. Okay. This power is called as real power. Okay. So real power is nothing but the power consumed by the resistive load. Okay. So here the power equation is just P into I, similar to your DC circuit. So in DC circuit we already saw, right? So where the total power is nothing but product of voltage into current. So in AC circuit the real power is nothing but voltage into current. Okay. So this can be found by multiplying together the two waveforms to give the volt ampere product. So volt ampere product is nothing but V representing volt and I representing the ampere. Okay. So this power is called real power and it is measured in watts or kilowatt or megawatt. So this power is also called as active power, or else you can simply say this is a useful power. That is the power supplied by the source is used by the resistor. Okay. So this is called real power. So in case of AC circuit with pure inductive load, that is in order to calculate the AC power for pure inductor, so this is the basic inductor. Okay. So here the reactance is given by omega L, that is 2 pi f into L. For I it is V by XL. Okay. Because of the presence of inductor, the phase difference between your voltage waveform, that is this one, that is blue colorly we have mentioned, right? So voltage waveform and the current waveform, this one. So the phase difference is 90 degree. You can simply see the voltage is starting at 0 point. So the value of the voltage is also 0. Okay. Similarly for current, the value of current is 0 at 90 degree. Similarly, if you see the maximum value, so voltage occurs the maximum point at 90 degree, but current occurs the maximum point at 180 degree. So there is a phase difference of 90 degree between your voltage and then current. So if you want to calculate the real power in pure inductor, the same formula. So P is equal to V into I cos theta. Here the theta is nothing but your phase difference, which is 90 degree. So cos 90 is 0. So which implies the real power is 0 in pure inductor. Okay. So if you draw the power graph, you can simply see. So from 0 to 90 degree, the power is negative. Okay. So because the current value is negative, but the voltage is positive. So hence the power is negative. Similarly, from 90 degree to 180 degree, the power is positive, and similarly from 180 to 270 it is negative, and 270 to 360 it is positive. So why it is? Because here the inductor have a unique property, like it is storing the energy and again it will restore the, or else it is charging the coil and discharging the coil. So just it is supplying power and consuming power. So both are carrying on by the inductor. That's why at each 90 degree the power is returned and power is consumed. So if you take the average value for this one, so positive negative get cancelled here, and here also positive negative get cancelled. That's why we are getting the power as 0 for inductive load. Okay. So anyhow, the real power is 0 for inductor, but it will consume a power that is not useful power called as reactive power. Okay, so reactive power is mainly because of sin theta, not because of cos theta. So if you take P is equal to V into I into cos theta, it won't be valid for inductor because the cos theta is nothing but 0 for a pure inductor. That's why we are going for reactive power, which is nothing but product of current and voltage, that is V into I into sin theta, that is imaginary power. We will say this is a complex power, or simply say as a imaginary power. So this power is called as reactive power. The symbol is Q. It is measured in volt ampere reactive. So VAR. Okay. So V for voltage, A for ampere, and R for reactive power, or else simply kVAR, that is kilo volt ampere. So if you want to calculate the same, so we can simply use sine function, that is just a minute guys. This is the formula. So QL is nothing but V into I into sine theta. Here the theta is nothing but your angle of difference, that is from the voltage and current angle difference is 90 degree. So if you substitute theta is equal to 90, which will be equal to 1, then the reactive power can be calculated as a product of your voltage and current, and the unit is VAR. Okay, so here the main thing is our voltage and current, so both are out of phase, so which leads to the value of real power as 0 and reactive power as VI. So this is same for capacitive load. For capacitive load also the phase difference is 90 degree, but it is taken as minus 90 degree. Why it is? Because here the current is leading. You can see the current reaching the maximum point at 0 angle, but the voltage reaching the maximum at 90 degree. Okay, so here we can simply say current is leading the voltage. That's why the phase angle is taken as minus 90 degree. If you calculate the real power, it will be 0 for capacitive circuit. Okay, like this. So again the same thing. So positive power here, negative power, and positive power, negative power, both will get cancelled, and the overall real power by capacitor is 0. Okay, so it is mainly due to the charging and discharging property of capacitor. It will store the energy, and again it will just return the energy back. Okay, so that's why the reactive power can be calculated as QC equal to V into I sin theta. Here theta is equal to minus 90, so which is nothing but minus sin 90, that is minus 1. So here the value is minus V into I, that is negative power. So for inductor it is a positive reactive power, for capacitor it is a negative reactive power. Next thing, so we already know what is resistance and what is reactance. So that is reactance is mainly due to inductor and capacitor. So from this we can draw a triangle called as impedance triangle. So here the adjacent will be your resistance, which is always constant. Okay, similarly your opposite will be reactance, that is X. X is nothing but reactance due to inductor and reactance due to capacitor, and Z is nothing but the algebraic sum of the squares of your resistance and reactance. Okay, so with the square root, that is as per your Pythagoras theorem, because this is a right angle triangle, so hypotenuse is equal to the square root of your opposite square and adjacent square, that is Z is equal to root of R square plus JX square. Why we are using J is because the reactance is mainly a complex one, that's why we are taking as imaginary part J. So here Z is the magnitude of your impedance, and angle is the phase difference between your resistance and the reactance. Okay, so these are the formulas for calculating the phase angle difference, and this is the formula for calculating the value of Z. So here simply say impedance is nothing but vector sum of resistance and reactance. So here we can calculate the impedance as both magnitude Z and phase angle phi. So here it is represented with the phase angle is representing the angle difference between resistance and then reactance. Here the resistance is always constant, but here the x will vary based on your frequency, because x is equal to omega L. So omega is nothing but 2 pi f. So based on the frequency, the value of x will get vary. Okay. So from this impedance triangle, we can retrieve a power triangle. So representing three powers. So this like this. So first one is real power, and next one is reactive power, and third one is apparent power. So here the real power is mainly due to the resistance. We can simply compare the impedance triangle here. This part is mainly due to resistance, and this is mainly due to reactance. So simply here real power is mainly due to resistance, and reactive power is mainly due to inductive reactance and then capacitive reactance. So if you take the vector sum of both real power and reactive power, we will obtain another one called apparent power, which is denoted by S. The formula for S is equal to V into I, that is RMS voltage into RMS current, or simply you can say as per Pythagoras theorem, S square is equal to P square plus Q square. Okay, so the horizontal side, this one represents the real power, and vertical side opposite represent the reactive power, and then hypotenuse, this one, it is representing the apparent power. So here the apparent power is nothing but the relationship between your real power and then reactive power. So simply we can say the apparent power is a complex power. Okay, so it is nothing but the product of RMS voltage V and the RMS current I. So here the unit will be volt ampere, that is VA, and the symbol represented by S. Okay, so the vector sum of P and Q is given in volt. So in impedance triangle we learn, right, the vector sum of resistance and reactance will give impedance. So similarly here the vector sum of P and Q give the apparent power S. This is the best example for considering or else just understanding the power in AC circuits. So let us take here, it is a picture of a beer in a glass. Okay, you can take anything like simply a cup of coffee with bubbles floating at the top. Okay, or simply tea or milk, so whatsoever your choice. Here it's just a beer glass. You can simply say, so here the main area was occupied by beer. So the area occupied beer is from bottom to at this point. Okay, after that, so this one is mainly foam or bubbles. Okay, so is there any use in the foam or in the bubbles? Okay, there is no use of bubbles. We will only consume this liquid part alone, either it is tea or coffee or simply beer. Okay, so simply we can say this content, that is the liquid content, is called as useful power, that is real power, and here the unused part, that is the bubbles or foam, which is called as reactive power. So in a AC circuit, the reactive power is a waste one, or else it is just reducing the power, that is real power. So it is reducing the value occupied by real power. So if we simply see, if you remove the bubbles, so we can again pour some liquid or some beer. Okay, so which will increase the real power. So simply we can say real power is a useful power and reactive power is a unuseful or waste power, and reactive power just decrease the value of your real power. The sum of whole thing, that is real power and reactive power, which will give the apparent power, that is a full glass of beer. Okay, with beer and its foam. So this is the best example to illustrate power in AC circuit. So next one, power factor. So power factor is nothing but the ratio of your real power and then your apparent power, that is VA cos pi divided by VA. So VA get cancelled, which will be equal to cos pi. Okay, so it is mainly denoted by cos pi or cos beta. So whatever may be the symbol, if you represent here as beta, it is taken as cos beta. If you represent this as pi, it is taken as cos pi. So it is nothing but the ratio of real power to apparent power, that is P by S. Either it is in decimal value, sometimes it can be a whole value as 1, but it is practically it is impossible to occur pure 1. And if we say the value of cos theta is nothing but the value limit of cos theta is from -1 to +1. Okay, similarly here also we have power factor, maximum value will be 1 and minimum value will be -1, or we can simply say as a lagging or leading power. Okay, we will see that. So the power factor is nothing but the phase angle difference between current and voltage waveform, as we see in our previous slides. Okay, power factor is nothing but watt by volt ampere, that is P by S, which is equal to VI cos pi divided by VI, that is cos pi. So if you take a resistive load, okay, resistive load we already learned, right? So both voltage waveform and current waveform are in phase. That is, the phase angle difference between voltage and current waveform is always 0. That is, PF power factor is equal to cos 0, which is equal to 1. So if you get the power factor as 1, then it will be considered as unity power factor. Okay, for resistive load alone, we will get the unity power factor. If you go for inductive load, so there will be a phase angle difference of 90 degree between your voltage and current. Here the current is lagging, okay, or simply you can say your voltage is leading the current or current is lagging the voltage. So here the pi is equal to 90 degree. So the power factor will be cos 90, that is equal to 0. Since current is lagging the voltage, here for inductive load the power factor is always lagging. For capacitive load, the same thing, the pi will be equal to 90 degree, but here the current is leading the voltage. Okay, here current is leading the voltage. That's why we are telling this is a leading power factor. So power factor value will be equal to 0 for pure capacitive load, but the power factor is considered a leading power factor. Based on the pi value, the power factor value also get vary for both inductive and then capacitive load. So if you take a circuit with both inductive and capacitive load, based on the angle difference, the power factor will get vary. Okay, so these are the things we covered in our today's lecture. We started with what is DC power, that is nothing but P is equal to VI, and we moved to AC power. We start from instantaneous power, so which is nothing but V in time, that is Vm sin omega t plus del theta into Im sin omega t plus theta. So from there we calculated the average AC power and average AC power for R load, L load and C load. From that we extracted two power, real power and reactive power. From there we draw a triangle with the impedance and with the power. From that we extracted another one called apparent power, and we saw a example with the beer glass, so which shows the what is real and what is reactive and what is apparent power. And finally we learn about what is power factor, that is nothing but P by S, or simply cos pi, that is a phase angle difference between your voltage and current. Okay, so kindly go to the video. Again, if you have any query, kindly let me know. Complete the assessment posted in our classroom. Thank you guys.